This is where the storytelling of such dry material actually starts to kick in. Hi, I'm Mike Levin of MikeLevinSEO.com, and I'm showing you how I am going to host that very site on the Raspberry Pi Model B Plus running Arch Linux. And I'll be publishing the site using the PyGreen web framework, which I thought used bottle.py, but since it went to the 2.0 version, it now uses the much more popular Flask web framework, which in turn has two other sub-web frameworks it uses, and it's all a lot easier than it sounds, and I'm going to walk you through it. And if you care to go this way, you can be using a nice short stack for web publishing on the Raspberry Pi that will serve static websites very quickly and give you all the power you need for when you want to go to dynamic websites using the Python language. So after my last video, I had installed Arch Linux on the Raspberry Pi, and the first thing you do after imaging a new SD drive is you update the system because those distros never have all the latest. So I typed in, according to the instructions on the net, Pacman is the remote package manager for Arch Linux, and I typed sudo pacman uppercase SYU. It said sudo command not found. That's because we're actually logged in with root, which a lot of people will tell you a bad practice, but it's like half the reason of having a Raspberry Pi, to be root on your own hardware. So you use the change password command, change your password right away. I already did that. And now you update your system, and that is pacman space hyphen uppercase S lowercase yu. It takes a while because it's updating all the files on your SD card, more or less it seems. I had to answer yes for it to go ahead and perform the upgrades after it retrieved the repository, the database of all the software made for Arch Raspberry Pi. It installs it, and then when it was done, I used a similar command to install Python version 3.4.1, which was actually a pretty big decision because being on the latest Python sometimes means incompatibility with libraries that you might want to use that are really targeting 2.x or 2.7 these days. But even Arch Linux, which is one of the most conservative distros out there, has moved on to Python 3.x, so I figured it's time for me and us to do it as well, dealing with whatever cutting edge issues will be brought to our attention, which will happen. So to install Python, I had typed pacman space hyphen uppercase S space Python. And it installed the packages, and that brought us up to where we are today. And we need to immediately install a couple other things because Python, unlike Ruby and Node.js, don't have a built-in repository system, but they've got two very popular ones called setuptools and pip. And we're just going to install both, so no matter what we encounter, we can trigger off installs quickly. And so that's going to be pacman space, negative or hyphen uppercase S, and then the name of our package, which is going to be Python hyphen setuptools, which lets you get all the packages that tell you to use easy underscore install space package name. That's what setuptools does. The other one, which we'll do in a second, is called pip. Pip seems to be replacing setuptools because it does better file management. Uninstalls are possible. But we're going to do pacman hyphen uppercase S pip. No, it's not just pip. It is python-pip. Answer yes. If you're going to image your new Arch updated system that has Python installed and the ability to grab remote packages, now would be a good time to reverse the dd command and use an out file of something on your local hard drive so that you can always get back to this point quickly. For the sake of the video, I'm just going to forge ahead. I'll probably make a separate video about imaging your Raspberry Pi boot drives. Now I'm going to go over to the web server, which has the instructions on installing PyGreen. And there's a bunch of other things that are going to be installed here as dependencies, including Flask and 2 other items. But we're going to let easy install take care of all of that. We can comment on it as we watch it. Again, all these instructions use sudo in front of them. We're logged in as root. We don't need sudo. So this is easy_install space PyGreen. Searching, found it. Installing it. Some people will advise you to use virtual environments for Python at this time. But this is a Raspberry Pi. It almost is a virtual environment. It's a $35 piece of hardware with SD cards as their boot drives. If you want a different Python to run, instead of having to deal with having to remember and switch back and forth, image yourself a 2.7 Python SD card and swap them. I don't think it's worth it. Well, anyway, since this is all installing, it's giving some warnings. Those are usually okay. It's just you know, adjusting. Yep, no, okay. We are going to take a look at how to actually launch and serve files. So the second command on the PyGreen site, this is PyGreen's own site. The first is to install. The second is PyGreen space serve. Couldn't be easier, right? Then there's a file on the drive, and you can visit a site here. And I'm doing a before and after. Localhost :8080, that's what we're going to want. No, not really, because these are the instructions for if you install it on your local machine. I'm installing it on a remote machine. When I do this, all that stuff is happening on a physically separate device. So you have to adjust to the localhost instructions. I'm using my internal network, so it happens to be this, and I just put port 8080. And this is a before and after. Nothing's going to come up. It's just going to keep saying this web page is not available. PyGreen space serve. Okay. Now we go back to here where we have a before and after. The before, it's clearly not able to reach it. Yay, not found. Your requested URL was not found on this server. Hey, I could go and create that file and put it in place, but what you are seeing is Python responding, and there it is, actually served. This is a very typical kind of message when you're running Python as a web server. It reports back things about the request. This is a 404 page not found, and beneath it is the web browser's very common attempt to grab one of those little favorite icons for the tab. So there you have it. Thanks for listening, and be sure to subscribe, and I will talk to you soon.